Bukayo Saka, once again, the difference maker. In a game that tested Arsenal's depth and patience, it was the star boy who stepped up and delivered. Here's a full breakdown of how Arsenal edged AC Milan in a keenly contested preseason match. As we predicted in the match preview video that I shot yesterday, Arsenal went with a very strong XI with Raya in goal, Ben White into right back, Saliba, Calafiori and Zinchenko completing the back line, Christian Noga getting his first taste of Arsenal action alongside Declan Rice and Ethan Nwaneri, while the attacking trio was Saka, Martinelli and Kai Havertz. Jurriel Timber and Gabriel are just coming back from surgeries, so they are basically integrated to the squad slowly. But it was nice to see Christian Noga get the action from the onset. AC Milan, on the other hand, shifted from their usual 4-2-3-1 formation to a 3-5-2 setup, with Terracciano in goal, Fikayo Tomori, Theo and Pavlovic as the back three, Betesagi and Alexis Salemakers were the wing backs, with the midfield of Samuel Ricci, Ruben Loftus-Cheek and former gunner Yunus Musa, Rafael Leao and Christian Pulisic were the front two. The first attempt from the games came from AC Milan when Rafael Leao actually reacted quickly to a Salemakers pass, but Saliba was on hand to make a very good block. Arsenal then drew their own first blood when Ricardo Calafiori found Declan Rice with the ball, but from outside the box he left one rip and he actually killed some vultures in the sky. Arsenal continued to control possession and there was an intricate 1-2 play between Kai Havertz and Bukayo Saka, but Terracciano was on hand to smother the ball before the ball could reach Saka in a dangerous area. This was followed by a very needless foul considered by Salemakers and Martinelli. And maybe because it was a preseason match, the ref did not give him a card. But that was a terrible tackle on the Arsenal left winger that kept him on the ground for a while before he stood up. Early in the game, suffering an injury like that actually affected Martinelli adversely because in the course of the game, he didn't impact the game as he would have liked. He felt stifled by that injury. Nwaneri, who was starting in the Martin Odegaard role, continued to build into the game. And after shimmy pass on markers, he found Ben White, whose shot was missed by a lick of paint. Arsenal continued to attack, with Kai Havertz finding a very nice spot and delivering a good cutback, but Tomori was on hand to make a block for AC Milan. AC Milan would have actually had the first goal of the game when Salemakers crossed the ball that left Zinchenko sleeping, but Pulisic didn't capitalize on that error. Zinchenko is one player that has always had the defensive frailties, and it's sad to see that it was exposed yet again. He's one of the players that we want to shop out this window, and obviously this wouldn't have done any good to his stock. But it's just something we have to be aware of, that we can't trust Zinchenko in games of high intensity because of his lack of concentration. Arsenal tried to use one of their normal set-piece routines, with Saka coming up short for a corner kick. But when he swung the ball and it was attacked by Calafiori, Pavlovic was there to block it off the line. That had been the first goal of the game. Ben White actually had the follow-up from the blocked effort, but that was blocked as well by Milan. And at halftime, Arsenal had 12 shots to Milan's 2, and also had 24 touches in the box to Milan's 9. The dominance was very clear for everyone to see. At the start of the second half, Arteta made a couple of changes. Kepa Arrizabalaga made his Arsenal preseason debut for David Raya. Miles Lewis-Kelly came on for Zinchenko. Jacob Kivior came on for Calafiori. Martin Zubimendi came on for Christian Noga. Odegaard came in for Nwaneri, and Leandro Trossard came in for Martinelli that was clearly struggling from the injury that he had in the first half. Former Chelsea player Ruben Loftus-Cheek managed to get ahead of Miles Lewis-Kelly, but Saliba was on hand to make a clean sweep for the ball. It was so casual. The way Saliba intercepts the ball sometimes is just ridiculous. It makes it look effortless. Arsenal finally scored the first goal of the game when Jacob Kivior located Saka with a beautiful pass, whose first touch was sublime, and he poked the ball past Terracciano to make it 1-0 for Arsenal. The onslaught from Arsenal continued, with Saka having an opportunity to shoot, but he actually crossed the ball to Kai Havertz. But the German striker's header was not directed on target. The chances continued, with Miles Lewis-Kelly feeding Odegaard, whose shot went far off the mark. There were more substitutions for Arsenal, with Josh Nichols coming in for Ben White, Mikel Merino came in for Declan Rice. Then the boy I always wanted to see, Max Dowman, came in for Bukayo Saka, while Maui Salmon came in for William Saliba. It was a monumental moment for both Salmon and Dowman because they were both 15-year-olds playing with the Arsenal squad. That was just amazing. Like, these lads would have been very, very happy with this opportunity to build the first team and to actually play alongside the senior players that are giving them a very, very huge vote of confidence. That man didn't waste any time. We got from a couple of challengers and fired a shot that went wide. I'm sure he'd have been very bored just to try and score a goal in the game or make his impact, but obviously we know he's quite good and it was good to see him, show that confidence despite being so young. Kai Havertz left the pitch for Rich Nelson, and Nelson had a couple of chances late on in the second half, but he didn't capitalize on them. And there was a good chance that the Trossard had very late in the game, a wonderful hot shot from 25 yards that had some power and swag on it. But the Milan goalie made a fantastic save. So at the end of the game, it ended 1-0 for Arsenal, with Arsenal having 56% possession. The Gunners had 12 shots in the game, with 9 on target, 440 passes, with a pass completion percentage of 90%. We also had 14 corners. But however, there was an alignment that there was going to be penalty shootouts, irrespective of the scoreline, just to give the Singapore's fans something to celebrate. And after started the shootout with Martin Odegaard playing the first penalty of the game and he missed. This just brought back terrible memories of last season when he had a penalty against Manchester United in the FA Cup that was saved by Altay there. So I'm guessing that Odegaard should not go anywhere near the spot kick this season. For Arsenal in the past. I know there was one as well against Crystal Palace with when Saka handed it over to him or so. I think one against Bournemouth. No, that was for Kai Havertz. But penalty shooting technique is kind of questionable. So I'm guessing that with Saka being the primary penalty taker, I would see someone like Gyökeres even probably taking it over from Saka. So Odegaard should probably be down in the pecking order. And hopefully if you have a genuine penalty shootout in maybe a Champions League game or an FA Cup game, I don't want it to be among the top 5. I know he's our captain, he's very confident, wants to step up and take responsibility. But when you keep missing, you lose a lot to be desired. Matteo Gabbia took the first penalty for AC Milan and scored. It was 1-0 to AC Milan. Zubimendi stepped up, scored his own to make it 1-1. Lorenzo Colombo came around to try and make it 2-1 to AC Milan, but Kepa Arrizabalaga made a brilliant save to the right corner to leave it at 1-1. Mikel Merino stepped up to make it 2-1. Then my compatriot Samuel Chukwueze came on and Saturday scored his own penalty to make it 2-2. It was a bottom left shot that Kepa came close to, but he didn't get it. So it was 2-2 to Milan at that point. Rich Nelson stepped up, missed his own. It was a brilliant save from Toriani. So that was still 2-2 to us now. Mattia Liberali came on for AC Milan to take his own penalty, but Kepa made a save as well to leave it at 2-2. Jacob Kivior came around, missed his own penalty as well, and you see he made that 2-2. Then Noah Okafor, the Nigerian Swiss boy for AC Milan, also missed his own to make it 2-2. At that point in time, I was like, what's going on here? Don't these guys have any plans of scoring? So Max Dowman stepped up and scored his own penalty, and that was 3-2. Warren Bondo stepped up for AC Milan, scored his to make it 3-3. Leandro Trossard showed some confidence, scored his own penalty in the bottom left corner to make it 4-3. Then Filippo Terracciano came and scored his own to make it 4-4. Josh Nichols scored a brilliant penalty. Like, these are top bins. Basically, most of the Arsenal penalties have been on the bottom corner, left, right, and stuff. But Josh Nichols actually went for the kill and he scored his own penalty to make it 5-4. Then Matteo Duto came on and also scored his own penalty to make it 5-5. And unfortunately, Mali Salmon came to play his own penalty and he skied the ball over. I'm sure the 15-year-old boy would have been so gutted for missing his penalty. But that's just life, it happens. Then Christian Komoto came on and scored his own for AC Milan and they won on penalty shootout 6-5. So it's good to see the lads go out for this shootout, show some confidence, but obviously we need to do more on our set pieces. We missed a couple of penalties that we should have scored. But then again, it happens. And even in the best of times, we have seen many big players miss penalties as well. This was a preseason match, so I'm not sure there was that much urgency. So overall, Arsenal actually dominated this game, had 7 blocked shots, 14 shots inside the box, 9 shots outside the box. It was clear that, okay, this scoreline actually flattered AC Milan. Arsenal actually did very well in the game and also had a higher possession than them as well. So to player ratings, Raya had a relatively untested game, so I'll give him a 6. Ben White showed great movement on the attacking third and he gets an 8 from me. William Saliba had a very, very simple game, lots of interceptions as you'd expect from him. He gets a 7 from me. Calafiori showed great distribution, and that's a 7. Zinchenko, oh man, just unfortunate. He got a 6 from me though. I don't want to make it less than 6. He was still decent, but that time he was, he lost concentration. Just typical of what we expect from him, and he didn't even change that. Nogard had a good game, a 7 as far as I'm concerned. Declan Rice also had a 7 for me. It was quite decent, didn't do much, except try to dominate in midfield as you'd expect from him. Itamaniri gets an 8 from me. He showed great confidence. Like, many people were concerned about Madueke coming into the team, thinking they're going to take minutes of Nwaneri. But it's clear that Nwaneri's preferred position this season is going to be the right 8, where Odegaard plays. I think that will be beneficial for him to find a position and stick to it so he can grow his trade on it. And I'm very, very happy with the way he played. He showed great confidence, created some chances, and he can only build on this. Bukayo Saka gets a 9 for me. He's just an amazing footballer. Week in, week out, month in, month out, Saka remains consistent. His goal was very brilliant. Also had a chance to create for Havertz. There have been an assist for him as well. Martinelli gets a 6 from me. He was limited with the injury, so I'm not sure he could really influence the game as much as he'd have liked. Havertz gets a 7. Showed good centre forward play, loads of hold up, had one header that didn't go in. But he did very well, as you'd expect from him. And I'm very happy to see the style change between him and Gyökeres. Gyökeres should give us that predatory instinct as number 9, while Kai Havertz will be the one to hold up play and use aerial abilities from time to time. Kepa gets a 7. He was relatively undisturbed during the game when he came on as a sub for Raya. But of course, he showed some heroics, saving 3 penalties. So that's good to know that we have someone that can actually do the Lord's work when penalties come. I'm not expecting that they will substitute Raya for him like some coaches do. But obviously, in some cup games that Kepa will be keeping, he'll probably have a chance to stay on the pitch. But if you try to take him out I think I tried to take him out and then I'm sure he'll put his hand like I did to Sarri. I'm like, boss, no, I want to stay and play on. I'm just hoping I won't get to that though. Jacob Kiwior gets his 7 for me. He had a very good game, although he missed a penalty, but his assist was brilliant. Marcel Busquets gets a 6. He was kind of off the pace a bit. Salmon gets a 6. He was decent, didn't do much. Obviously, he had been gutted for missing the penalty that cost us now the game. Josh Nichols gets a 7. He was very good in the match, played very well, he wasn't perturbed by the fact that he was playing against players that were older than him, and he did well. Ben White stead. Martin Zubimendi gets a 7. He was very, very sturdy in midfield, distributing the ball very well as you'd expect from him, showing good passing play and creating tempo. Odegaard gets a 7, created a couple of good chances, had a couple that he also shot that went wide of the mark as well. Merino had a 7. There was a chance that Odegaard created for him that he should have scored with his head, but the keeper made a good save. So Merino just showed that those attacking instincts that he learned last season haven't stopped. But obviously, we won't have an opportunity to play Manchester forward again. I hope we don't have any kind of injuries that make him play there again, but at least he's a dependable squad player, and I'm happy about that. Rhys Nelson gets a 6, looked very casual, had a couple of chances. I'm hearing that Fulham is trying to get him on loan. Obviously, with his injuries and the way he struggled, he might probably not be able to command the sale, but I'm hoping that Bertha can cook something nice for us and get like 20 million quid for him. Max Zalman gets a 7, showed great movement, tried to score as well. Had a very, very beautiful penalty that he scored as well. I really love that kid, and I hope that he gets a chance in the Carabao Cup this season. Trossard gets a 7. Had some very, very good chances. Later on, he showed that beautiful shot that was saved by the goalie. This win wasn't massive on paper, but the performances showed that we're in the right direction tactically and mentally. There was a clean sheet, Saka was on form, the sharpness was improving. With just weeks to go into kickoff, Arsenal fans have every reason to be optimistic. The away kit looks very lovely. I'm sure that we're going to have many more games with it. So what do you guys make of the game? Is Shootout ready to hit 20 goals this season? Let me know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more regular updates, and I'll catch you in the next one. Come on, you guys.